Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody this morning? Happy Monday to each and every one of you. Mondays get a bad rap, I think. They're just really as good as any other day. I'm sure there'll be some folks disagree with me on that, but yeah, Mondays are all right. We have finally got well, I won't say it's fall, but a reasonable facsimile of fall weather here in Georgia. It got down in the 60s. I think it's currently about 66. So, really excited to have some cooler weather. Hitch Hamilton's in the house, said he'll get the raspberry pie out of the refrigerator. Yeah, he was watching the Saturday night show we do with the about the raspberry pie. Ryan Ballard did an excellent job, put together some slides and stuff, and good stuff. Good stuff. I'm going to start playing around with a raspberry pie. I've got an upcoming project. Mr. Mertzke in the house. How you doing, buddy? Never get to see you much anymore, except on the Facebooks. But glad you're doing well. Speak of the devil, there's Ryan Ballard. How you doing, Ryan? I see you had a little weather trouble trying to get your solar panels put up. Looks like you got one. It started raining on you. Mr. Larison in the house. How you doing, Bill? How's everything in Plainfield? What kind of temperatures you having there in Plainfield this morning? Homework is killing me. Well, there's worse things than homework, I'm sure. But you're doing well, Mike. Proud of you, buddy. It's pouring down rain now. Oh, that's got to suck. Frankie's CNC and Woodworking Channel. Will a Gatton heat the house? Dang furnace is going out. Well, it will if you light it on fire. And you can usually do that by trying to plunge an MDF with a down spiral bit. That usually will get one going. So, looky who's here. Mr. All Things YouTube. Matt, the Piano Man Haas. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you on here. Barry Curtis. Good morning, everybody. Don Puckett sold 69 dog feeders last weekend. And I think you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, Don, you're talking about the, what is that called? The Cotton Picking Festival, I think is what it's called, down in Gay, Georgia. I think, and I'm wondering if you ran into Drew Oxford. I think he was down there as well. So Ryan Ballard says, hasn't rained in a month. Yeah, now it'll make up for it, Ryan. I'm doing well for the shape I'm in. It's chilly in Plainfield. Yeah. Well, I hope your shape is okay there, Bill. Harry's Place says, morning. Harry, have you learned to pick a tune on that license plate guitar yet? I probably need to have some of you guys on that are winning these license plate guitars that I'm giving away. I need to have you on and pick us a tune. All Things YouTube says, I got 1 million Gatton CNC questions, a literal million. So many questions that could fill an entire show. Well, you need to come on the show then, Matt, because I know a guy that can probably answer some of those questions anyway. Yep. The fair, I guess is what they call it, the cotton picking thing. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the first weekend in May and in October. I used to go to that, but I haven't been in a few years. I need to go. Yep. Great crowds. Matt Geyer in the house. How you doing, buddy? Harry says, I need lessons. I have trouble playing radio. Yeah, I feel you, buddy, because I love building them, but I cannot play worth a flip. I do only slightly better with 6 strings, and you'd think it'd be easier to play with 3 than 6, but I guess it's because I started off trying to learn 6. So I can play, the 2 or 3 chords, which is enough to play pretty much any country song. So, uh, but yeah, I'm not very proficient at either one. But yeah, great Monday. Got to have some great weather today. I'm going to be out in the shop tinkering around. I've been programming some stuff, cut a little bit yesterday. I'm going to try to get some of it finished up today. We got David Franks in the house. Good morning. I see we started out. You can always tell which one of these starts streaming first. Looks like Facebook does because the first several comments were from Facebook. And then now YouTube's kicking in, and we're getting a lot of comments from folks watching over on the tubes. So welcome everybody. This, in case this is your first time catching the coffee sessions, it's just a kind of a free-for-all. I get on here and drink my coffee. This is actually my second cup of coffee. And I just kind of open it up and see what happens in the chat. Anybody that wants to join me, all you got to do is let me know. I'll send you a link. You can come on here and join me. No particular format or agenda. We just get on here and see what's going on in the world. And it beats watching the lousy news. I'm so tired of the news. Let's see. George or Don says local crafter to call you on Gatton CNC Kit. He lives in McDonough. Okay, cool. Don Franks, Matt. Yeah, it's going to be a good day, I think. I hope you all have a good day and a good week. Like I said, I think Mondays get kind of a bad rap because for some folks, it's like getting back on the hamster wheel and going. There's Barbara watching on Facebook down in Niceville, Florida, I guess. Just getting ready to start her day, looks like. Anyone using the Something Eyes screen set for Mach 3? I'm not. In fact, I've never even heard of that one. I don't, because a lot of times I'm asked questions about Mach 3 from new users. I have always stayed with just the default screen because when I'm trying to show somebody, where a setting is or how to go to a screen, it's so much easier if my screen looks just like their screen, which most likely, if they're brand new, they're going to be on that default screen. So I have never used any of those other screens for that reason. I'm trying to tell my wife we should replace the furnace with outdoor wood stove with a run to the shop and the house. Liam Hill, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. See, Barry, I tried using it, but never got. Always talking about that screen set. I got it for the triple edge finder. I think I messed up with it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the blue text screen, I think that's what it was called, that worked with the triple edge finder. I think that went away. I think that guy quit doing it. And so now everybody that's getting the triple edge finders having trouble finding a screen or a script that works with it. I think that's what the deal is. I don't use a triple edge finder. I just use a simple, actually just a scrap piece of aluminum angle with a wire on it, and I use that for my touch plate. So I only worry about setting the Z. I'm never using a blank that's, well, I say never. I shouldn't say never. You never say never. But most of the time I don't use a blank where it's already cut to size and I've got to get everything perfect. Usually I oversize my blanks, and cut it out of a skeleton, so it doesn't really matter if you get it cocked or all that stuff. Yeah, Barry says it did. So I think the blue text went away. Paul's Messy Workshop. How you doing, Paul Corliss? Up in Michigan, I believe is where you're at, Paul. I think that's good to see you on here. Yeah, does anybody have, I got a question for y'all. I don't know if there's anybody that knows anything about sound bars that you buy for your TV. I've got let's see, how long have I had that thing? Probably about 3, maybe 4 years. I bought a 65-inch Vizio smart TV that I just love. It's because I went from like a 32 to a 65, so that was a big jump. But I bought a little LG sound bar, and it has the Bluetooth subwoofer, I guess you call it, which is on the other side of the room, and it's worked great. But here lately, probably the last, I don't know, 6 months, but it seems to be getting worse. All of a sudden, it's like somebody hits mute. The sound bar will just shut off, and you can, take the remote, turn it back on. And sometimes it won't shut off, but what it does is it almost like somebody hits the function button and moves it away from I think it's got to be set on Bluetooth or something. But anyway, they change whatever so you don't get any sound. And it's real annoying because if you're sitting there watching something, and right when they're saying something that you want to hear, it goes off and you miss it. And of course, if it's a YouTube video or something, you can back it up and watch it and catch it. But if it's something on regular TV, let's see. Michael Mertzke says, I was looking at the Bose ones yesterday. Just need to save some pennies first. Yeah, Bose is great stuff, but they're a little on the high side probably for my budget anyway. And I know when I bought my TV, since I was splurging, and I got a good deal because it was I bought it for myself for Father's Day, and it was Best Buy was having a Father's Day sale. And so I walked in, and I wasn't planning on getting one near that big. I was only going to get about a 50 or 55 inch or something. And they had a stack of these sitting right by the front door when you walk in, and they were actually less than some of the other ones they had that were smaller. So I thought, well, what the heck? Bigger's better, right? So I went ahead and got the 65 inch. Well, since I got that, I didn't know anything about sound bars, and I looked, I thought, oh, this one looks okay. And it's been doing fine, but it's real annoying. And I thought at first maybe it was, because I had the remote sitting on the arm of the chair, kind of pointing at the thing. So I thought, well, maybe the batteries are getting weak and it's making, so I got where I take the remote and I turn it the other way so it's not pointing it, but it still does it. So that's not what's doing, I guess. Jim Bird in the house. Roll Tide, buddy. Good to see you. And I want to see, I know Jim's been working on a tennis racket guitar, which is pretty cool. I've enjoyed watching your build on that, Jim. Ernest Sanford, good morning, all. Frankie CNC, does it happen while getting text? No. It's really weird because a lot of times I would, get up, turn the TV on, sit there, and I'd be drinking a cup of coffee, and then I'd get up and go take a shower. And when I'd come out of the shower, it would be turned off. And it was weird because it's like it like clockwork. It did that. It says I have Samsung with subwoofer, no problems. Costs around $150. I'll have to check that out. I kind of hate to go buy a new one because this one does work. When it's working, it's it's fine. It's just the darn thing won't stay on. It keeps cutting off. So Al Forte in the house. How you doing, Big Al? Yeah, it's just annoying. It's one of those things. But in the big scheme of things, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So, is there a timer? There's not one that I know of. I mean, I never use the sleep timer or anything like that on the TV. It may be a setting of some kind that maybe I accidentally pushed a button, or who knows. But I mean, I've tried all different combinations, and like I said, you can be sitting there watching it, and all of a sudden the sound stops, and you look, and sometimes it's turned itself off, and other times it hasn't turned itself off, but it's like somebody hits that function button and moves that thing to one of the other modes, which doesn't work. So Al says, change the ambient light sensor off. I had one that would turn off on me at the worst times. Yeah. It's not a super big deal for me because, to be quite honest, I don't really watch much TV. It's something that I can't, if it goes off, turn the sound back on and go rewind it, because usually I'm watching YouTube stuff. That's probably what I watch more than any other thing. And I do turn the news on in the morning to catch the weather, and then after that I kind of tune out of it. So Gary Brady in the house. How you doing, Gary? Greg says probably the power supply is failing. Power protection will shut off to prevent fire. Okay. Yeah. Well, it just, like I said, it's just annoying, and it seems like it gets more, like before it would do it like once a day, and which was weird because, like I said, I'd get up, turn the TV on, and it might be on for an hour. I'd go take a shower and come back, and it would be off, and then I'd turn it back on, and then I might leave the TV on all day just for noise, and it never would do it again. So who knows? Who knows what it is? Looky here, what happens when you leave the door open. Nick Ferry in the house. How you doing, buddy? I bet y'all are having some good weather up there up there around Green Bay, aren't you? We finally got something that's close to fall here, and I couldn't be happier. It's in fact, let's see what the temperature is right now. Well, 67. So yeah, here past right up until Saturday. Saturday's when we finally started getting cool. We were still hitting 90s every day. It's setting all kinds of records and stuff, and thought fall was never going to get here. But yeah, good to have you in there, Nick. Liam says hello. Yeah, Nick, if it's probably your first time catching this, I call this the coffee sessions. It's I just go live here and just for no particular rhyme or reason, just drink my coffee instead of sitting watching the crummy news on TV, and just get on here and open up the chat and see who shows up, and we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff. Just depends on where the chat takes us. David Roby in the house. He says, good morning, Al. When Al mentioned the timer, I think he was the one that said, yeah, he mentioned the timer a while ago. That reminded me that I meant to hit a timer, because I'm trying not to keep these things too long. So I have my Stream Deck set up with a timer, and I forgot to push the button. But I'll keep an eye on it and try not to make this this too long. We got into a conversation the other day and had a marathon session, a couple hours long, but it happens. Big Bear 4x43. Let's see. It's always fun to try to guess these usernames and put the name. I think that's Ronald Cool. I think. I have a hard time remembering people's regular names, much less their usernames. So have a lot of trouble with names. Not as easy as it used to be. He says, "Yep." So I guess I was right. That's Ronald Cool, I think. Anybody got any topic they want us to talk about this morning? You said, me griping about my crappy sound bar. And if there's anybody out there that wants to come join me here, Nick or Matt Haas or any of you guys out there that are used to being on these hangout things, this is kind of what this is. This is a much different platform. I don't use the Google Hangouts. I stopped using that to stream. Well, you had to because they did away with it. But I don't even do the old Google Hangouts. I guess it's still a thing. And I actually got invited to one the other day, and when I went in there, I'm like, oh man, this is weird because I don't know about everybody else. Nick, I know you've been in a lot of Hangouts and stuff, but I always hated when you're in a Hangout or the ones I really hate is when you're trying to watch a live stream and somebody's using Google Hangouts, and the way that they have that automatic camera switching thing. So somebody coughs or whatever, and the camera's jumping around. I hate watching stream, even my own. When I go back and look at my old shows, I absolutely hate those. So I like this because now when you have somebody else on here, of course I can't show you because there's nobody here with me, but you guys have seen it. You can have up to 5 other guests, and everybody's on here. A little bigger than they're not down at the bottom like on the old Google Hangouts, and there's no camera jumping around, so it's a lot nicer. Let's see here. Barry says he sent you a message in Facebook. Greg says, are you routing out any different guitar shapes? No, I've actually had, when I went back to the reunion, Hitch, you probably remember the Campbells, Diane Campbell. I can't remember what her married name is now, but you know who I'm talking about, I'm sure. She gave me a couple of license plates, or like vanity plates. Oh, it's Owen, because I know now because that's what's on the plates. Yeah. And she's wanting me to make a couple of guitars. I think they're going to be gifts for grandkids or something. So I'll be making a couple of license plate guitars for her. And I'm reading some of these comments. I'm not sure what Ryan Ballard's talking about here. He says it's like sex with an ex. Remember why they're your ex. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but okie dokie. Ernest says, Dave, I am building my Gatton table currently. Do you mount the angle flush to the face of the x-axis front plate, or does it overhang because the plywood is not 3/4? I put mine flush, flush to the face, and let because I know the plywood may not be exactly 3/4, maybe a few thou under. But yeah, I always put it flush to the face because it's just easier to mount that way. If you've got a good flat surface like a table saw or something, you can set it on and get it nice and flush. Or you can rig up some kind of clamping thing or something. Oh, he was talking about Google Hangouts. Yeah, it's like sex with your ex. You remember why they're your ex. Yeah, it was weird. Like I said, I got on there the other day, and I it was crazy. I finally just had to pick somebody and click on them so the camera thing wouldn't jump around, because it was, I don't know who, a whole bunch of people on there, about 8 or 9 people on there, and that's that kind of stuff just drives me nuts. I don't like them. In fact, even my old shows were like that. It always made me mad. You'd be talking and holding up something and trying to show it to the audience, and then somebody else would cough and boom, the camera goes to them, or they're clickety click typing and the camera goes to them and they got your head down typing or something. I'm like, oh man, it just drives me nuts. So I'm glad it went away. I really am. This is a great new platform to use, and I really like it. They do some of y'all might have heard me mention this before. I don't know, but they do a they call it their Sunday town hall meeting, but it's like they do a live stream using their own software. And when I say they, I'm talking about the 2 guys that are co-founders of StreamYard. And they had so every Sunday they do that little live stream town hall, and then they talk about what's coming down the pike and what kind of changes, because they're constantly improving it. Well, they've been teasing now for about the last 3 or 4 weeks about this new big thing coming. Well, last night they finally announced that they're making, and it should come online sometime today. I looked for it this morning. It's not up yet, but by the end of the day, it'll probably be up. But they allow multi-streaming directly from StreamYard. And I know a lot of you guys don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but right now on this coffee sessions, I'm streaming to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. As you can see, I can post there's a YouTube comment, and there's obviously a Facebook comment. So the comments from all platforms come into StreamYard. But up until today, I guess, when they release it, if you wanted to restream to multiple platforms at the same time, you had to use a separate third-party thing. It's called Restream, and it they have StreamYard has integration with Restream, so you go there and you just set up the titles and stuff, and then when you click go live here in StreamYard, it will send it to Restream, and then Restream sends it out to the different platforms. But now, after today, you'll be able to, you could still use Restream if you want, or you can stream directly from StreamYard. So that will be nice. And they have different plans. They have a free plan, they have a basic paid plan, and then they have the professional plan. So right now I'm still using the Restream, and it took me a while to get used to that, because it's a little bit weird, because when you couldn't set up a video, you couldn't set up an event in YouTube, because when you click go live in StreamYard and it sent it to Restream, and then it started broadcasting to YouTube, it would always create a new thing. So your old link wouldn't be any good. And I had it was a little annoying at first, because it took me a while to figure all that out. And now I've kind of got the hang of it. And now they're changing it to where I can do it straight in StreamYard. But it should be even easier than it was. But it doesn't matter. I'll probably just keep using Restream for a while until I have a chance to try that out. Got Rob Schuster in the house. How you doing, Rob? Good morning to you. Neil Shafto, all the way from Canada. How you doing? Let's see, what am I doing on timing? Yeah, we're on here about 30 minutes, so I guess I'll get ready to wind this one up. yeah, the other things I'm hoping they'll do, and I asked about it in the live stream last night. I asked them the question about, because they keep talking about they're going to do some stream deck integration, and I got one of these stream decks, and it's really nice to do some of these one button uh, pushes and stuff, which will put comments. You'll see one pop up here in just a minute on YouTube. Um, so that makes it really nice. But since StreamYard is a web-based um, platform instead of like OBS where you download software and put it on your computer and it's running on your computer, it's a little more, I guess there's a little more to it. So I'm hoping that they get the integration with the Stream Deck. I still use it for a lot of little things, like I've got my timer going. Again, I can push these buttons and send messages to I can tweet and I can send messages to YouTube and stuff like that. Like I just pushed that button a while ago, and you can see that one popped up, and then there's that one. So it's kind of neat to be able to use the Stream Deck for different things like that. But they still, I hope they get it integrated with StreamYard where I don't have to use, like when I highlight one of these comments, just like Rob Schuster, I have to use my mouse and click on it instead of doing everything with a Stream Deck. So hopefully they'll get that going. So anyhow, let's see how many folks we got here. According to these numbers, looks like we've got about 7 or 8 folks watching on Facebook. We've got 19 watching over there on YouTube, looks like. So, all right. Well, I don't see any big questions or anything. Like I said, I want to try to keep these things around 30 minutes. I'm just here to drink my coffee, basically. Let's see. Ryan Ballard has something. The only thing I don't like about multi-stream is that it doesn't show people's photos. It just shows what platform they're watching. I'm not 100% sure, Ryan, but I think that's one of the things that's going to be cool about when they add it to StreamYard itself, because I think then you will be able to not only see that this is from Facebook, but you'll also be able to see their photo or their avatar or whatever you want to call it. And also another thing that they've got coming in the works is, well, you were just on the show last Saturday, Ryan, so you know how you can see the comments, because for a long time in the StreamYard thing, the guests could not see the comments. And now they've added it where anybody that's a guest on the show can see the same thing that I'm seeing. But what they're planning on doing in the future is trying to make it where myself and the guests can comment right here in StreamYard. And it will, in other words, if we see a comment from, I don't know, well, I'll just use yours, Ryan. So you put a comment about Google Hangouts. Well, then I could type a comment right here in StreamYard, and it would go out to all the platforms. So that'll be pretty cool. Harry Randall says, "Sorry, I'm late." No worries. It's not like you missed anything. Like I said, we don't. We just get on here and talk about whatever. Let's see. Here's another question. What post processor would I load in Fusion 360 that will work with Mach 3? I'm not a Fusion 360 user, and I don't know how their post processors work. But if you pick something, I don't know if they have in Fusion. Maybe somebody can shed some light on this. I don't know if it's like VCar Pro in Fusion 360 where you can click and you have a list of different post processors. But, if you're wanting to run it with a Gatton CNC or a GarageWorks CNC, it's just pretty much your basic standard G code. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Some of the machine manufacturers, they change things up, and they'll make some codes mean different things, and they do that so that you have to use their stuff. But all my machines and stuff run with, you can run them with Mach 3, you can run them with UC CNC, you can run them with Linux, you can, and you just need basic M and G codes. It doesn't have to be fancy. So can viewers see all the comments? I don't really like that the users can't currently see all the comments. Half the fun is chatting in the back. Well, here's the problem. If, like right now, I'm streaming to YouTube, which I see you're on, Rob, and Facebook. They don't intermingle. They do here on StreamYard. So when they come in, I'm seeing all the comments from everywhere that I stream to. If I was streaming to Twitch and Periscope and whatever else, those comments would show up here as well. And I just get the little, the little logo thing, so I know where they're coming from. That's how I can tell. But the viewers themselves, like people watching on YouTube, they can only see the comments that other folks watching on YouTube, and they can talk amongst themselves. Same thing with Facebook. The people over there's like, I think 9 people watching on Facebook now. They can only comment, and only the other people that are watching on Facebook will see them. That's one reason why I do like the feature where I can click on a comment and put it up on the screen, because the people that are watching on Facebook, they can now see your comment on YouTube because I put it up here. And that's why I try to go through the comments, and as I'm talking to folks, I'll grab their comment and post it up there so that the people that are not watching on YouTube can now see Neil's comment. But yeah, the only way you can really chat is to have that native application, whether it be YouTube or Facebook or whatever, open and chat just among that group. Facebook doesn't like to play well with others. Now, when I watch, I was talking about my TV a while ago. My TV, of course, it's a smart TV, and it has an option when I'm using the YouTube app on that TV, I can turn on the live chat. So what that means is, on the right hand side of my TV, the live chat will scroll up. Well, if I'm watching a live stream and there are people commenting from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, wherever, it will show them on that thing. If they're using this restream, it'll pop up and it'll say multi-streaming with restream, and then it'll have the comment, and it'll even have a logo so you can look and tell whether it's from Twitch or Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. Says, I need to get a multi-screen system so I can watch all video and all comments from all sources. Yeah, I have two monitors here. I actually want to get at least one more, but I really, for the longest time, I've got 2 desktops sitting here, and I had one that I use strictly for my 3D modeling, and so I had that monitor hooked up to that desktop, and then I had this other one hooked up to my main office computer, I guess. So, but when I started doing this, I realized pretty quick that it's nice to be able to have multiple screens and have an extent. Like right now, I've got StreamYard open right in front of me where I can see all these comments, like this one. Make a great cajon. yeah, that's kind of on my my list of things I want to do. I'm going to try to make one of those. Uh, but I've got on the other screen here, I've got Facebook open just for the heck of it. Because what I do is, if anybody says, "Hey, send me a link. I want to join you on your thing," I usually send all the links through Facebook Messenger. So that's why I keep that open. Ryan says, I just ordered a cable that will let me view my phone on the TV without an Apple TV. Should make watching the show better for me. Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I know back when I used to do some of my live streams right there from my living room, I got that big TV, and I could connect an HDMI cable from my laptop to the TV, so the TV would act as a super huge monitor, and it makes it nice. And I used to do that out in the garage too. I used to have a TV hanging out there on the wall, and I could do that, and then I could, especially for the chat back in, you'd blow the YouTube chat up and put it on there, and you could read the chat questions without having to squint and look at the laptop. So pretty cool. All right, I guess we're going to get off of here. Nobody's wanting to join me to have me finish my coffee, and we've had some good conversation here going this morning. I thank you all for joining me. This is always fun for me because, like I said, I can get on here and feel like I'm talking to people instead of just sitting around watching the crummy news, hearing about all the stuff going on. So I like getting on here and doing this. And I guess we're going to wrap this one up. We've been going about 45 minutes. So I will be back tomorrow morning, 0900. Bring your coffee. Somebody needs to get brave and come on here with me, though. It's not, I had, Javi's not shy. He'll come on here. Usually, if he's available. Mark Lindsay was on here the other morning. Of course, 9 o'clock here is like 6 a.m. out where he's at. Let's see who else. Zach Manring joined me on here one day. So anybody wants to join me, anybody at all, it doesn't matter who you are. Get you a cup of coffee. I'll be going live at 9 o'clock. Come on and join me, and we'll see where the conversation leads us. So anyhow, I'll go stick that in the microwave. It's getting cold. Anyhow, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, have a great day. It's Monday, but Monday's as good as any other day, I think. To me, anyway, any day I can wake up and roll out of bed, my feet hit the floor, that's a good day. So everybody have a great one, and we will see y'all tomorrow morning at 0900. Everybody take care.